Hey, Rob.
Give it up for Mike Bloom.
It's weird for you to introduce your own exit interview that way, but you know what? I will take it.
Yeah,
How are you doing right
Mike,
now?
I'm doing so great. I didn't know what they were going to show. I didn't know how people were going to receive it, and I've just been overwhelmed with all of the support. This was like my birthday these last couple of days. I've just gotten so much love from people that I'm doing incredible.
Yeah, it's almost like being there for your own funeral, right? Quite
Yes, it
literally. Like
was.
you died and now
It
everyone's going to
it
observe you.
truly was, and people have said so many nice things about me, and are sad that I'm not on the show anymore. And I don't want anybody to ever be sad for me because I got to go do this, and it was such a cool experience.
Well, I don't want to dote on the sad times, but I want to start with where things ended because look, you saw some people dancing in a conga line, and understandably, your antenna
Always
went up.
sus, no matter where you are.
Exactly. So I guess the question for me is, when you decide to tell the people you tell about your suspicions about a murder in plain sight, talk to me about that. Were you trying to spread the information? Why? Were you targeting a specific amount of people with that?
I found myself very much trying to look out for the people that I was working with when I was at the castle. And I saw Tiffany, who was the person I was the closest with in the game. And I was able to find her. And when I saw the conga line break out, I was able to get Tiffany into the other room. And then I had been very close with both Mark Ballas and with Candace. And I saw them in the kitchen and I said, okay, oh, good. My friends are in here. And I went and I wanted to warn them, hey, I think that there could be a murder in plain sight going down tonight. And Candace had mentioned a couple of times earlier before she actually got the conga line started, she was trying to gather support for, hey, we're going to do a conga line. And so I then was saying that, hey, and then like, okay, no, Candace, you started the conga line. So I was really when I said that, I was really trying to say, no, but I don't think that you're a traitor. And
Ah.
I was really trying to say, and then after that conversation was over, upon like going to bed, I really started to think, oh, I may have really put my foot in my mouth with Candace. If I thought that Candace was actually a very good chance to have been murdered if she was a faithful after that she was really leading the charge against Donna Kelsey. And I said, if Candace is still there when I wake up and go to breakfast, I think that Candace might be a traitor.
Interesting. Yeah, I want to talk more about that relationship because she's the one that, gives a genuine reaction to your murder, despite the fact that,
Yeah,
she was a traitor. And it seems like the two of you had a close relationship, definitely closer than what we had seen. So talk to me a bit more about that.
I have so much respect for Candace. I got there and I was not super familiar with her before I got to the castle, but immediately I identified her as she is incredibly intelligent and talented and charismatic. And I just thought that she was such an important player in the game, whether she was a faithful or even as a traitor. I felt like that she could have been somebody, I don't mean to single her out, but I felt like I wanted to be close with anybody I thought was a traitor. And you even saw in that first mission when they go to put the casket in my grave, Candace says, no, no, we need
Yeah.
him. We need him. So I think that Candace is somebody who in another world could have been somebody who kept me safe as a traitor, except that I did fly a little too close to the sun with her.
Yeah, I want to talk about your perception here because I think there was a lot of speculation on all of our parts about how much was your reputation going to precede you. And it's
Yeah.
interesting, when you step up and look at that box, you have Caroline whispering about how, like, you're this survivor mastermind. Were you aware of this perception and were you trying to steer either into it or away from it based on that?
I did not think many people would know who I was or a lot about me when I went there. I thought certainly the Survivor and Big Brother players, but I didn't think that anybody outside of our world really had heard about me. My goal was to really just try to play up, hey, I played on Survivor 20 years ago. I do the podcast. And the reason why I do this podcast, which is true, is because I love these shows and it's so much fun and there's so much passion for this reality TV community and that's what this is really all about. And so I was really trying to put that forward, but certainly I think that maybe my reputation preceded me and I think also maybe some of the other reality stars might have also had a very been very eager to share my reputation.
Tell me more. Name names.
Jam Jam, from the second I got to the castle, I said, Jam Jam, I'm so excited. We're gonna poop in the castle. And then he turned to any person like, oh my God, did you know Rob? He is the mastermind of Survivor. Can you believe it? He's here. And I understand the idea of, hey, anybody but me, but I thought that there would be a little bit more synergy with the people from the CBS shows.
So you mentioned that when the time you had gone to bed, if you felt if Candace wasn't murdered, she was a traitor. But as you were going to bed, probably actually not literally sleeping before then, who were some of the people at the top of your list in terms of suspects?
So the way that Jam Jam was really, I felt like really trying to talk my reputation up to other people, and the way that he made such a big deal at the breakfast of like, I can't believe they didn't kill you. Like, why, like, you're the obvious person to kill. And the way that he was just carrying himself in such a extra way at the castle. I felt like that it was different than what I had seen on Survivor. And so I thought a gamer would be in the turret, and I didn't think it was Tiffany. Obviously, Ian was gone. I didn't think it was Natalie. And so I really thought that Jam Jam was a traitor. And I was
So
happy because I thought that that if Jam Jam was a traitor, I did think that he would keep me safe.
So the vote you end up casting at the round table is for Michael Rapaport. And you were the one, at least from our perspective, really beating this drum of like, he's not a traitor. Like he's not playing 5D
Yep.
chess with us. So talk to me a bit about sort of your perception of him and why you cast that vote for him at the round table rather than Portia or
So
Donna.
Mike, when we first found out who the traders were selected, and we come back and Michael Rappaport, he comes back and you saw like okay, there's five housewives, there's five gamers, that's a trader, okay. And so I thought that this is so extra. I said no trader would ever act like this. And I thought to many of the different international seasons that I've seen, and Annabelle clocked it in the first vote in her season of like, a trader is not going to act like this. You had Cedric in Canada to season 2, where a person who is that erratic, that people always think they're a traitor and they're not. And I
Hmm.
felt like that I was really trying to say to people, I thought it was safe for me to talk about. I didn't want to like throw names out of who is a traitor, but I thought it was a productive thing to be talking with people about, to show that I was valuable to the team, to say, Michael is not a traitor. I also thought he needed to go home. I thought that he was holding the faithful back. And I had conversations about this with both Candace, and you saw that one in the episode, and you saw it with Rob in the episode. But I also said to Lisa Rinna, I said, Lisa, you're around Michael, that he's been around the Bravo world. Is he being different, right? Or is this just how he is? And she said, well, he is a very good actor. I said, Lisa, is he a 24/7 method actor, even when the cameras aren't
The
on?
Daniel Day-Lewis of the traders.
He's a very good actor. But so I think that that didn't help me to have at least shown the traders that I had the wherewithal to, at least because the traders were pushing hard. Hey, I think Michael might be the trader.
Do you want to do this entire experience again? I'd love to get into, obviously your thoughts about going on to other reality shows now that you've sort of been bitten by the bug again. But listen, there's been a fair amount of people, I think, helping cope with the loss by
Yeah.
saying, okay, well, they brought back Dorinda. Would you want to go back to the castle given what happened in season 4?
I mean, Mike, what's the worst that could happen to me? I went and I lost, and I'm doing great.
Yeah.
So I feel like sure, like whatever no pun intended, didn't kill me, makes me stronger. Like what's if I go again and lose again? Like who cares?
Well, then, that being said, there are so many other reality shows that exist out there. And listen, you've certainly had a
Yeah.
close call with a couple of other ones. I mean, are there other shows you would want to go on now that you have sort of popped back on our screens in a 2020's lens? Or, is it more so I want to have go on to a new show, a new concept to sort of
Yeah.
build it from the ground up?
So I loved getting to go and do the traders, and it was so fun. And it was really, I just felt like it was really in my wheelhouse, where I
Mm.
loved being a part of a reality TV game again. It was so fun. I just think that there's so like, what am I going to go do? The challenge? Am I going to go do Fear Factor? So look, maybe there's some new thing that hasn't been invented yet, but this to me, I just felt like was the perfect thing for me to do at this station in my life.
And it absolutely shows. I mean, you know how much we talked about this on and offline. Like you were so locked in, and it heartened me so much, not only as someone who has watched you since the beginning, but as a friend, like seeing you be in your element. And I know that Boston Rob told you the optimal way to play traders might not be the fun way, but you had so much fun. We could tell him that that's what matters at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
I got advice from a couple of different people, and it was Boston Rob who told me, "Hey, Cesternino, go there." And you had an article about it. "Hey, Cesternino, go there. Don't say anything." But I talked to Annabelle, and she told me, "Hey, it's a random ass game, and don't leave with your light still in you. You could get murdered at any point for any reason." And I really carried that with me into the castle, and I really wanted to make the most of every second that I was there. And yes, it was short, but I really did feel like I put everything I had on the table, and hopefully you got to see some of that in the show.
Well, listen, yeah, you even though you didn't let your light sort of linger as you leapt, it shines upon all of us, like Mufasa. I think that the reason why we've gotten the reaction the way that you have the past few days is because of the impact that you've had, and you've got new fans. You've got Emma Slater and Alan Burstyn talking about watching you and loving your lines on screen. So I'm so happy to have experienced the Robissance here, and hopefully it leads to a new era, if you will, in all the great stuff you get to bring on and off screen.
Well, I don't know if people love the new era branding, but I really do appreciate everything that you do, Mike. And it's such a pleasure to get to collaborate with you so much and keep up all the great work.
Likewise, well, I will be talking with you very soon, sir.
Did you like I
Enjoy.
went full bloom on the premiere?
I did, and I loved it. I felt very seen in that moment. Thank you for making all of us feel seen, Rob. You know how much I adore you, and I'll be talking with you soon. Have a good one, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
bye.